So Andrea, here we are inside Lyness Naval Base, air raid shelter. So this base during the Second World War was called HMS Proserpine, and here is the biggest air raid shelter in the Orkney Islands. So we're going to walk through it. So this is the entrance here to your left hand side. Okay, up to there, to the corner, and behind me here, yeah, hold on, up to the end. It says, behind the red line is safe to stand. Pass along the red line. So as we walk around this way, what you've got is the red line, the thin red line, okay? So we're going to walk through it. So you walk ahead of me with your camera, and I'll explain, okay? So this air raid shelter, yeah, it's for heating system. This air raid shelter was able to hold up to 300 personnel, and mostly be used for women on the base, the Wrens, the Auxiliary Air Force. Happen to be any children on the base, then they would be here. As you can see, we're going downhill slightly.
Yes, I was thinking
the other end, they go back up the hill. Now, this actual air raid shelter is zigzag in formation, and I'll tell you about that in a sec. So if you look round to your right hand side, you can see a small arms room. So in there is a small arms room, so in case you get raided, then you've got an area where you can get machine guns and pistols or whatever else you want into this small arms room. Aeration vent at the top there as well.
Wow.
And as we head this way, as you head this way,
I'm going to use that on Halloween.
That's it. Scare everybody. Heading down this way, you can see we're getting deeper into the tunnel. So heading downhill here. And the reason for the zigzag formation is that if a bomb, an incendiary device, is to be dropped from a German aircraft, we stop this zigzag type formation to stop the bomb blast heading through the tunnels, okay? And asphyxiating and carrying a firestorm in the inner chambers. So the reason for the zigzag wall was to try and stop this from happening.
Makes sense. No, that makes perfect sense to me.
And this takes us to the other side of the air raid shelter. So once you head there, you can see where the hot water pipes would have been at this angle here. And then you've got a bird's nest. Wow. The red line here down beside you.
Wow.
Okay. And behind you is the red arrow. And the arrow says behind the arrow is safe to stand. So that arrow follows you all the way across the other side.
Right.
Here. You can see it. There we go. So all the way to the other side. This way. And it says, for the red line is safe to stand. So you stand here and you look across the way along this position. If I shine the torch this way, Andrea, you can see the arrow. Okay.
Goes all the way down, yeah.
All the way down.
That's
and
the
then
end.
there's the red line.
Yep.
And that takes you through the other side of it. Okay.
So, in terms of an air raid shelter, could you always imagine it being one straight building?
So you've got a number of different air raid shelters. So this here was a reinforced base air raid shelter. So what you'd have had here is, I'll stand here so you can see me better. A reinforced base air raid shelter. So this air raid shelter would have had designed for a bigger base, such as Proserpine. You had the small garden air raid shelters called Andersons. They were normally corrugated sheeting over red brick or stone.
Yeah, we had one of them in my nan's garden.
And then you've got something called the Stanton air raid shelter, Stanton. So if you go to Turn Airfield, for example, you see big air raid shelters rather. And these air raid shelters look like an Anderson on the inside, but it's been reinforced with concrete, and it's octagonal in shape. And the reason for this is to deflect bomb blast. Okay, so stop it shattering. Okay, so this here is a big reinforced air raid shelter that's zigzag in formation. And when we go up to the top of here, you can look out and you can see we're very close to where we entered, but it's a variety of different tunnels.
So if people came down, they would stand anywhere?
There'd be benches and things for them. And
all the way through, along?
Yeah, and they've got their storeroom there to hold food and warm blankets and supplies and small arms as well. But what we're going to do, Andrea, is follow me up this way.
I'm going to follow you, young man, because I might get lost and I might never come back home again. I keep threatening not to come back from Orkney, and this could be the way to do it.
Here we are. You can look back down the tunnel there and see that's where we are. Now, if you follow me, I'll show you where we walked in from.
Yep.
Back up this way.
Oh my God! Yeah, you're right.
So,
sheesh! It's like over there.
About 50 feet.
But we've gone
a decent walk.
half a mile-ish.
Zigzag in formation.
Yeah. Wow,
There you go.
that's amazing.
Cool. Glad you
Thank
liked
you, young man.
You're welcome.
You're a
Andrea.
star.